Now, when I talk about how Hydrotherm works, often you see people nodding, but you kind of know they're not really understanding what it is that I'm saying. So I'd quite like to describe it sometimes by saying what people normally do when they have a massage and then saying how Hydrotherm changes it.
Yeah.
So with a normal massage, most people are used to lying face down, having one side massaged and then turning over. And with Hydrotherm, you don't have to do that. That's the first thing. You lie on your back the whole time, and the therapist has hands-on access to the whole of the body. So from a massage point of view, often when I tell people I'm a massage therapist, they go, "Oh, you do massage like that?" Because that's what most therapists do.
Top
right?
down,
Exactly, and then they flip you over to do the same thing. So I'm introducing a new way of gesturing massage, which is this. Okay.
Which is like,
so you can work on both sides. And the idea with Hydrotherm is it gives the therapist really easy access without the client having to help to get to the underneath of the body and the whole of the back of the body. So a lot of beauty therapists, facialists are used to working underneath the décolleté and the neck and shoulders, or trying to force their way under towels, or getting clients to sit up a little bit.
Yeah.
And with Hydrotherm, you don't need to do that. The hands can effortlessly slide underneath. And then by changing the shape of the hand, the therapist can generate pressure on particular muscles where they need it. The client never has to be in an uncomfortable position, which also means that you don't need a face hole or face cradle. That means you don't need to balance the bust. You don't have to put towels and cushions underneath the bust for female clients. It means that clients who are having a facial or a back massage don't have to decide whether they're going to start face down or face up.
Yeah.
And that you don't ruin the work that you've done on a facial by putting someone's face in a hole afterwards. But there's a lot of clients who find it uncomfortable or even prohibitive for them to lie on their front. Elderly, pregnancy, clients who've had surgery. And for the time that I've been using Hydrotherm, I've been able to keep those clients comfortable, give them access to massage when sometimes they wouldn't be able to have that. But that wasn't why Hydrotherm was developed, actually. It's quite interesting. The reason why Hydrotherm was developed was because the therapist who designed it had problems with one of his hands and his wrists.
Which is...
And a lot of therapists do.
Thing, isn't it?
His problem was actually because of a motorbike accident, but then it was made worse because he was doing deep tissue massage and trying to generate a lot of pressure. And what Hydrotherm allows you to do is when you work in the standard position, to work downwards and then use the extensors of the hands. And then when you work underneath, to work pulling and to use your flexors, which means you're halving the amount of pressure you put on your hands as a practitioner. But still getting to have deep pressure on both sides of the body. So, the client benefits, you benefit as a therapist. And so it's a win-win situation. And I'm here 31 years later with no thumb problems, with no wrist problems to kind of demonstrate that it works.
So 31 years, obviously, since you first started with Hydrotherm, is that when you first got into massage and therapy and things? Was that from, what did you do before that?
Good question. Right, so my background was I did a degree in engineering and business studies, which had nothing to do with my therapy initially, but now does have quite a lot to do with what I do work-wise. And then I went and played professional football. So I was playing semi-professional football just before I qualified and afterwards, but I had a year playing professionally for none other than Barnet Football Club, which is a bit bizarre because it's my name, right? Exactly. Ben Barnet playing for Barnet. It's a source of much amusement with my friends. But I had a bit of a back problem myself, nothing that took me out of playing, but it made me really interested in massage. I went and got some really good massage therapy and I got really interested in it. And then I wanted to find something to do with my time when I wasn't training that was constructive. And I was going to do personal training. And then I found massage. I thought, actually, I got really interested in that and trained in conventional Swedish massage. And I went to an exhibition just as I was waiting for my iTech certificate to come through. And I met John Holman, who was the guy who came up with the idea of Hydrotherm. And it just ticked so many boxes for me. And, it seemed to make massage simpler and easier. And actually, when I first came across it, I was like, well, is this a new idea or somebody done it before? John invited me to become part of the design team for the training for Hydrotherm. And I was like, well, I hope we're not ripping somebody's idea off, because it seemed like, well, someone must have come up with this before. Yeah. And, so for about the first month of me being involved with the company, I was like waiting for the phone call for someone to say,
you've copied it all right.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it never came. No. So, and actually some people have copied it since, which for me is a sign of a good idea.